powerful links with English cricket's glorious past.
No, is it the Ashes? Yes, England have won the Ashes.
Dennis Compton, one of Britain's great sporting heroes. And it was Compton-like heroics that were required from England and Mike Atherton, for whom the cricketing year began far afield.
After a frustrating time in Zimbabwe, England got back on track in New Zealand. Skipper Mike Atherton led the way, averaging more than 100 in a 2-0 series win. England finishing their tour with confidence restored. Summer saw the arrival of the Australians, and in the one-day internationals, Atherton's century at the Oval helped England to a 3-0 whitewash. But it was two Australian-born players who caught the eye for England, Adam Hollioake and his younger brother Ben. And in the main event, England got off to a flying start.
Well done.
Beautiful delivery, and he's got it.
And that's out.
Australia in deeper trouble.
That is a tremendous performance from England this morning.
Australia incredibly 118 all out, and England's batsmen took full advantage. Graham Thorpe's 138 and a double 100 from Nasser Hussain put England on course for victory. In the second innings, Australian captain Mark Taylor silenced his critics with a popular century. But it was left to Alex Stewart to strike the winning runs and put England one up. Were the Ashes really coming home? Rain ruined the second test at Lord's and saved England, but there was still time for Glenn McGrath to turn in a record 8 for 38. The Australians had begun to fight back. On a difficult Old Trafford pitch, one man made batting look easy. The brilliant Steve Waugh scored a century in both innings. And another familiar foe was ready to take centre stage.
I don't know how you play this.
Warne 9 wickets, but looking for more.
We're all beer drinkers in Victoria.
By Headingley, Atherton and England were feeling distinctly uncomfortable. Debutant Mike Smith thought he had his first test wicket, but
in the air. Oh, and that should have been his first wicket.
A mere 170 runs later, Matthew Elliott effectively steered Australia to a 2-1 Ashes lead. Trent Bridge and time for a change. The Hollioakes provided the fresh faces, but it was the same old story, with Ian Healy magnificent.
Oh, he's got it.
It was now only a matter of time before the inevitable.
And the Ashes have been retained by Australia.
England's dejection was Australia's delight. And so to the Oval, where for hapless England things were going from bad to worse.
Well, I suppose feeble would fit the bill.
Enter an old favourite. Phil Tufnell began to spin England back into the match. And with Australia needing just 124 for yet another success, Tufnell and Andy Caddick bowled England to the brink of an amazing victory.
It's caught. It's all over.
A jubilant Mike Atherton agreed to stay on as skipper for the West Indies tour. But it was his opposite number, Mark Taylor, who left with the one thing that mattered. Sadly, the year started with the tragic death of Surrey wicketkeeper Graham Kersey following a car crash in Australia. His Surrey colleagues took the first domestic prize of the summer. Ben Hollioake, still just 19, hit a remarkable 98, which steered them to a comfortable B&H victory over Kent. Essex won through in a bad-tempered NatWest semi-final against Glamorgan, and with their Australian batsman Stuart Law in majestic form, they annihilated Warwickshire in the final. Warwickshire's consolation was the Sunday League, their 7th trophy in 4 years. And after a gap of 28 years, Glamorgan were county champions. Fittingly, Steve James, the country's leading run scorer, hit the winning runs to launch the celebrations across the Severn Bridge.
Now, in these days of numerous so-called boxing world titles, the aim of any champion is to...
Anticipation of that Test series coming up